Welcome to the Winning Edge Investments Podcast. Winning Edge Investments provides industry-leading horse racing and sports betting tips, ratings and education, enabling you to invest intelligently and treat your betting like a business. Go to www.winningedgeinvestments.com to learn more about how you can start to supercharge your betting bank immediately. Treat your betting like a business and invest intelligently with Winning Edge Investments.
Winning Edge Investments, tips and ratings for racing and sports. Dean Evans joins me to preview the Group 1s on day 2 of the Championship. Steno, a big hello to you.
Good morning, Gareth. How are you going?
I am very well. What another terrific meeting it is at Royal Randwick on Saturday afternoon. There's so much to unpack. We might start off with the first of the Group 1s, which is the Australian Oaks. Treasure of the Moment, $1.75. Like a Lucy, $4.20. Bell to Tell on the quick backup at $9. Then Verona Rose at $12. And Dubai Gold Rush at $19. Your thoughts here, mate?
Yeah, look, a good Oaks field, a pretty slow speed expected here. Treasure of the Moment could lead, like a Lucy sort of in the trail. Sun Sand will probably be handy, but there's really not a lot of speed at all. And sort of Dubai Gold Rush will probably have to come across. Treasure of the Moment has done very little wrong in her career. 8 wins and 2 seconds from 10 starts. She's been very impressive all prep. Won the VRC Oaks last prep, and even though I don't think she really loved that wet track in the Vinery, she still managed to put them away. She's going to get a really soft lead here, and I do think she's going to be very hard to beat. Like a Lucy, sort of coming off a really long prep. Did win the New Zealand Oaks last start, but wasn't as dynamic as she had been in her wins previously. Whether that means she's just coming to the end of her prep, or whether it is that she's more of a sort of mile to 2,000 metre horse. I think we'll find out in future preps, but I think she's a bit of a risk here. If you wanted to bet around the favourite, Dubai Gold Rush only ran Like a Lucy to sort of a long neck in the New Zealand Oaks, and I thought the discrepancy in their prices with Like a Lucy at $4 and Dubai Gold Rush at $19 was far too big. And Bell to Tell is the other one who won the Adrian Knox last start. They've had 5 winners of the last 12 years have come out of that race. She ran really exceptional sectionals, was very heavily backed, and she's a 3/4 sister to Very Elegant. So she, with the same trainer, obviously. So she's going to, I think, relish the 2,400. And so although I think Treasure of the Moment's going to get a really soft on-speed run, it'll be hard to run down. I think Dubai Gold Rush and Bell to Tell look the value to me.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating race with Treasure of the Moment, because she has lived up to every challenge, so it'll be great to see what she can do as a $1.75 favourite and whether she can continue on her dominance. Interesting to see with Bet365, of course, Giddy Up brought to you by Bet365. This Saturday they'll be mega boosting Autumn Glow, Via Sistina, and then Kiliana at Bendigo. Check out Bet365 from 10 a.m. on Saturdays and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365, subject to availability, eligible customers only, terms and conditions apply. So we move on to the second of the Group 1s. I'll get to the Sydney Cup in just a moment, but we'll touch on the Queen Elizabeth, because Bet365 are boosting. She might be $2.50, $2.60. Some say she might get to $3 via Sistine. She's $1.95 at the moment. Dubai Honour at $6, Rusham Park at $15, Charwolf at $15, Buckaroo at $16, Light Infantry Man at $17, Tommy Kitten's had support into $17, Your Horse for Band at $23, and then Faulkner Park and Deny Knowledge. I think she's a great bet, $5.50 the place. Deny Knowledge has also had a little bit of backing. How do you read this year's Queen Elizabeth?
Yeah, I think there'll be more speed here than people might expect. Obviously, Deny Knowledge goes quick in front. Full Count Felicia usually goes very quick in front as well. I think they first up didn't want to go too hard on her in the Randwick, but she goes very quick overseas. Lindemann will push forward. I suspect Valban's going to need to push forward from that wide gate. Otherwise, we'll just get too far back. Dubai Honour is going to want to push forward to get across and get a decent spot. And I've heard Faulkner Park, they want to go forward as well. And with people expecting they're going to struggle to run down Via Sistina, I think there's going to be reasonable speed here. Via Sistina obviously does rate great on top. She's a superstar. She ran second in this race last year, but she's won 7 Group 1s from 10 starts in Australia. That freakish Cox Plate win, very hard to beat. I can't imagine she's going to get out to $3. If she did, there'd probably be potentially something wrong with her, but she's certainly the one to beat. Dubai Honor won the Randwick and this race 2 years ago, won the Tankwood last start, and obviously we know that the trainer and the horse have an exceptional record here in Australia. Valban, we're excited about. I think the draw is a real shame. This is a race where you do want to draw reasonably well. The inside 4 barriers 1-8 from 13, have a good sort of betting record, and he's going to have to push out wide. But again, I thought he should have won the Tankwood if the jockey had stayed on the fence. He probably would have won that race, and if that had been the case, I certainly don't think he would have been anywhere near as big a price as he is at the moment. Valban, having beaten Lindemann first up after getting sort of shuffled back and parading awfully. His form lines around Dubai Honor are pretty strong. He beat Gia Valletta on the St. Leger, then won the Hong Kong Vase and beat Dubai Honor by 2.5 lengths. So I do think Valban's in the race, but it's a really strong Queen Elizabeth. Welsham Park's a very talented Japanese horse. Is second at Group 1 level, beaten ahead a couple of times in the Breeders' Cup and in Japan. Light Infantry Man was good in the All-Star Mile, and you mentioned Deny Knowledge. She beat Mr. Brightside Fair and Square over 2,000 metres at Group 1 level with a good second in the Australian Cup, and she's sort of ridden upside down. She's going to get a much better run here, just being able to sort of freewheel in front like she likes. I think she'll be really hard to run down as well. So really strong Queen Elizabeth. I'm finding it hard to find a really strong betting angle here. Versus seeing the one to beat, but it's a really strong race.
Ella Alicante is 270 in the favourite in the Sydney Cup. Sardozi 850, Birdman 9, Duke de Sessa at 10, Araparo at 19, Circle of Fire last year's champ at 19, River of Stars at 19, Athabaskan at 23, Valiant King at 23, Strathday at 26. Cleveland's had support at $34. How do you read this year's Sydney Cup?
Yeah, a bit of speed here. LL Council lead. River of Stars, I think he'll push up forward with it, and Duke de Sessa likes to be on the speed too. So I think there's a fair bit of speed in this race. LL Council is right on top, but I think the $2.60 at the moment is a bit skinny. I think there's a good betting race. There's 3 horses that I quite like at sort of big odds here. Circle of Fire, who you mentioned, won the Chairman's and the Sydney Cup last year. Even better seasoned here. Was a good 5th in the Tankwood last start. I think you sort of look at his runs in Australia. Sydney Cup sort of really was a peak performance this time last year. In the Melbourne Cup, when he looked like he was really badly out of form in the prior races, only got beat 2.5 lengths from barrier 23. He rated the best he's ever rated in his last start run in the Tankwood. So I think he's going as well as ever. Like I said, he's more seasoned here, and it's hard to believe that Circle of Fire is $18. Valiant King was another who I thought was probably the run of the race in the Chairman's outside of LL Camps. Just was very heavily back, $16 into $8.50, and sat 3 wide, no cover the whole way. Did it really tough and stuck on strong. He's another horse whose ratings just seem to improve the further in distance he goes. And he's a big price, Valiant King. And then Strathday has just had the clear best late sectionals in both the Manion and the Chairman's. Of all the horses in the race, it looks like the one who's going to appreciate the 2 miles more. And so from a betting perspective, I just think there's a lot of value around sort of the likes of Circle of Fire, Valiant King and Strathday to knock over the favourite.
All right, mate, I've got about a minute and a half left here. So we go look at the Queen of the Turf Stakes. Fangirl's $2, Steffi Magnetic at $5.50, Tissues at $7.50, Lazura at $10, Amelia's Jewel at $13. Is she the good thing of the day, Fangirl?
I think she is if the track's dry. She's just very hard to beat. She's such a classy mare. Obviously at the set weights, that suits her very well. Absolutely flying. This Prepper George Ryder run was just absolutely enormous. And then she loves it here at Randwick over this mile. So really hard to beat. If there's a little bit of rain around on the day and the track gets a little bit shifty, I thought Amelia's Jewel sort of ran a really close second on the Empire Rose in the spring to a Tissue. I do think she's better when she gets up to a mile, and she sort of maps nicely to maybe get just that trail in behind Crimson Bell will go pretty quick up front. Lazura is the other one who won the far lap and was a really unlucky second in the Emancipation. The 3-year-olds actually have a good record in this race. A couple of wins in the last 11 years, but a lot of really close sort of seconds and thirds, only beaten in photo. So 3-year-olds do go well in this race. So there's a bit of rain around, and Millie the Jewel or Lazura could be the ones at a price, but I think if it's dry, Fangirl hard to beat.
Beautiful. Best of the day, mate?
I think the best betting race of the day is the Sydney Cup. I think sort of Circle of Fire, Valiant King at Strathdale, sort of $18, $23 and $26 are, you can make a good book out of that race.
Love your work, mate. We could talk all day. Best value for the punters out there with the SEN Track Giddy Up listeners. Go to Winning Edge Investments, sign up for a membership. You type in SEN and you get a 50% lifetime discount. So you enjoy that package. The boys of the team have been on fire there at Winning Edge Investments. So go and join the team today. Go and get them with Vauban. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Gareth. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Talk. There's Dean Evans. What a judge he is. WinningEdgeInvestments.com. Tips, ratings and betting education for racing and sports. Time for a break. Bag of tips today coming up next.
At Winning Edge Investments, our team of highly skilled expert analysts and full-time professional punters review the data, crunch the figures, assess the best betting opportunities, and deliver them to your phone via our app and your email inbox in real time so you profit. Go to www.winningedgeinvestments.com. Look at our membership options, make your choice, and enter the promo code PODCAST to receive a special 25% discount on your first membership just for listening. That's PODCAST in capital letters for a 25% ongoing discount on your first membership. Treat your betting like a business and invest intelligently with Winning Edge Investments.